general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter placements. Let's get into it. So the first card you have, Taurus, is the Star. And this is a major arcana. This is related to the water bearer, like the 11th house energy of the collective. Aquarius, which is about humanitarian. It's about the collective. It's about brilliant ideas and your brilliance. This is, you see the star shining above and it's surrounded by 7 other stars. The star just shines, effortlessly. That's what the star does. It doesn't have to work hard to shine. So I feel that Taurus, I feel that, there are 7 stars, but the star in the center feels like sun, and sun right now is in your sign. So I feel that this person, if you look at the picture, there is this pool that she's pouring into there. And whatever she's also pouring into the earth. She has 1 foot in water. She has 1 foot on the land. And if you see behind her, there are rolling hills, all green. Green is fertility. Green is growth. And that's what happens when land meets water, in the right proportion, in the right way. It creates a fertile ground. And I feel that, star energy is all about, renewing things. It could be renewal. It could be, something is getting renewed for you, or there is a regeneration. There is a kind of energy. I feel that, and Capricorn actually appears after the Tower card, which is a destruction. So something that you have endured. This is the reward of something that you have endured for a long, long time. Tower moments are not easy to handle, They require a lot of, looking at the truth. They require a lot of honesty. They require a lot of rebirth. They require a lot of restructure and organization. It takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of inner work to come up with, a strong foundation, to see the truth. It takes a lot of courage. It's a very depleting energy. The Tower is a very depleting energy. But here, you have the star shining on you, Taurus. There is a lot of hope with this, because you have been pouring yourself into something. And I feel that you've been very patient with this process. You've been very consistent with this process. You have been taking care of something, I feel that you've been taking care of a lot of things, because here she's pouring into the water and she's pouring into the land. The land is like your body, your home, something tangible that you have been pouring your energy into. You've been tending to something, you've been taking care of something in the real world, which is tangible, and also you've been taking care of the inner world, which is emotions. So there is, you have been putting the work in your inner world, in your emotions, that EQ. I feel you're building EQs. You are, reviving your emotions. And this is a time where both of it gets renewed. There's something on your inner side, your emotional renewal, feeling happy, and being very much authentic, because you see this person is like wearing just a simple clothes. So there is nothing performative. There is nothing glam about her clothes. So she is in the most stripped version, stripped of, like, no fluff, no bling, no mask, very authentic version of you, is the person that's standing over here, and I feel that you're putting into something that you really wanted to. It's not through force. It's just something that you choose for yourself, or the universe chose for you. It's like you, for example, like you come out of college, right? And you don't know what to do with your life. You don't know the career path you want to go with. And slowly but surely, you start with one thing, and then you figure that it's not for you. Then you jump into another job, and you figure it's not for you. And you take up the third job, and you feel like, yeah, this is exactly what I want to do. It's like the universe coming together to connect you to the thing that is meant for you, something that is meant for you, something that will nurture you, something that you can effortlessly pour your time and energy into without being depleted. At your own pace. You don't have to rush through things because it's a Taurian energy that's playing out here, which is, slow but steady is the energy that I'm picking up on. So I feel that, and star is also the North Star, right? Our goals, our inspirations, our aspirations, whatever we have. I feel that it's taking shape. The pool is filling up. The pool is filling up. The pool is growing. There's ripples. There's gentle ripples. It's growing slowly but surely. You're building something. I don't know if you're actually building a pool in your house. For some of you, that could be. You're building something slowly, steadily, and you consistent, keep putting time and energy into it. I feel that, I feel that, and if you see here, there is a fish hook which is lying on the side, and fish hooks are used for fishing. They pull the fish out of the depth of the water. And I feel in the next few days and weeks, Taurus, you're gonna use this fish hook to pull something more genuine, something that you need, something that works for you, something that you're interested in, or something that will float your boat from this pool. The pool is also the collective consciousness of humanity because it's an Aquarius card, right? So something that you're going to pull from the depth of your subconscious or unconscious pool that you really need, that you really need. It's like a magician pulling out what you call the bird out of a hat or something like that. It's even deeper than that because this is something that, that we cannot even put our finger onto. But it's just that you will be, pulling something out from the depth. It's maybe an interest, a hobby, a quality of yourself, a skill that, that you need to apply, that you completely forgot about or something like that. I feel that there is high renewal, there is a regeneration of something. Now, for some of you, this can also be like a pouring into yourself, like, your family, your kids, your own health. This could be something like, pouring into the divine consciousness. It could be spirituality, like something like a daily practice that you're kind of taking to. But, it's like, this is a kind of renewal, a new cycle, and especially with your season. The sun is in Taurus. So it's definitely a renewal period for you, because when the ruler, the sun, is in our sign, it illuminates a lot of things for us. It illuminates the path, it illuminates our situation, it illuminates ideas forward, strategies and goals, and all of those things are high potent, especially in the Taurus season. So yeah, I feel that there is a lot of hope out here because you're seeing things grow. There's green mountains, green mountains is fertility, it's growth. So you're seeing some kind of growth out here in the next few days or weeks. Something that you are pouring your time and energy into is growing. And you're seeing that. It could be also related to your projects that you've been working on. It could be some hobbies that you're working on, something that you maybe restarted. Maybe it's like a painting that you pursued as in school or as a kid, and now you're like getting back to painting, and you pick up the paintbrush and paint, and you're like, oh my God, what am I going to paint? I even forgot how to use the brushes, how to blend the colors, and you start and your first paint comes out really bad, but then you're like, I'm not going to give up hope on this. I'm going to try another one and another one, and finally you get to try it with the sort of force painting. So it's like bringing back that hobby, renewing something for you. So I do feel that you have been at something that kind of, a tower moment, a star comes after the tower moment. And I feel that tower is not, tower is never easy to deal with. Tower is like constantly we have to rebuild, rethink, re-strategize, rebuild and all of that, So I just feel that there are there are 8 stars out here. I feel that you might have been going at it for about 8 times now, something that you've been doing it for 8 times. It could be a painting, like I said, it could be the 8th painting that you got it right. It could be the 8th time you're doing a recipe and you got it right. I feel these are 8 cycles of renewal that you went to. So fixing something along the way, every time you took to it, this is your, maybe your 8th renewal, or I feel this is your 8th renewal. So 7 times, 7 cycles, you've already been through it. But you kept the faith up. You did not give up the faith. Even though the times might have been difficult, you might be experiencing a lot of cycles. Like I said, this is the 8th. There are 8 stars which are shining here, and 8th one is the biggest, which means that 7 renewal cycles have already gone through, and now this is the star which is shining the brightest. So something that you thought that will be possible, something like a project, maybe a company you open, maybe a project, or you've been changing teams or companies or something like that. You've changed 7 companies for some of you. That could be the case, and now the 8th company is working for you. Or maybe you tried something 7 times, and now it's the 8th time that's working for you. But you've been patient all this while, Taurus. And I can 100% testify to that, because the Taurus energy is, doesn't quit. They want to keep putting in the work, whether, slowly but surely you've been consistent with it. And I feel that this is something that is, that you're working on is going to be sustainable. It's going to be sustainable for a long time. Something like a solar power arrangement, it always keeps charging with the solar energy. It's a sustainable form of energy. We don't need anything except the sun's rays to actually charge up the solar power. So I feel that something that you have been pouring into is now starting to grow. I feel that, and I feel that you're also, something that is dear to you, something that you really want to, because it's not easy to stick on to something for 7 cycles of renewal. It's not easy. It's just that you thought it was your new North Star, and you followed it, and you kept at it, you stuck to it. And you also want to go at it for more years. It's not something that you really want to quit, because this person's pouring, this person wants to pour. So you are attending to something now. This could be your side gigs that you've been trying, maybe 7 side gigs you tried and the 8th one clicked, but it's the 8th one which is clicking, and you stayed hopeful. And I feel that the star is now clarifying that, keeping the hope was a good thing that you did. Whether it was, and this could also be people, maybe 7 kinds of people, 7 cities that you moved to, and now the 8th one, or 7 neighborhoods you moved to, and it's the 8th one that's clicked for you, something like that. It's going to be different for each one of you. But I feel that, you kept at it, and you're not, it's not, I don't think it was something like, something visible to other people. I feel this was in the background that you were working, because this person is not dressed in a glam outfit. Nobody would want to see anybody who feels like a night suit to me. So you kept doing this, even though nobody was watching. Nobody was watching. It's behind the scenes kind of energy that you were working on, and now it's a renewal energy. It's growing. Next, Taurus, you have the shield, and it further says you are safe from harm. Okay, so this is like a golden shield over here. There is an eagle, and the wings are spread beautifully and fully. Eagles are like, the high-flying birds. They are, of course, symbols of protection, of independence. They're also connected to divine messages, divine messengers. Also, about having the aerial view, the high level view of everything. Um, I feel that here, Taurus, for you, that it's about protecting, protection of something. You are safe from harm. I feel this shield is you. I feel you have built the shield. It could be your life. It could be, the work you have done. It could be that you, construct something, or you are like into metal things or something like that. You could be related to, some of the government offices that you're building. Protection could be in any way, like we're protected either, if it's your house, it's like maybe you have installed cameras, or you're protecting it in some way, shape, or form, or you're buying it in, or if you're buying a home, you want to settle in places that, that have good protection, or that have more protection, or is gated communities. For some of you, it could be that as well. For some of you, it could be protection against, even your appliances today, and like, the things that we buy, laptops and all of that. Even those need protections, through policies and warranties and guarantees and all of that. For some of you, you could be buying that so that the devices that you buy are protected, so that you don't have to incur major expenses. For some of you, it could be policies, that you're renewing. Like we had the renewal energy with the star card for you, Taurus. So some of you could be renewing policies so that you are protected. For some of you, this could be that, you have been through it, because before the star comes the tower. So maybe in regards to a security that you're trying to protect something, something that maybe that you were building, you were trying to protect, or maybe you were in protective services, maybe you were in the law enforcement, maybe you were in the security enforcement or something like that, and you were trying to protect maybe someone, a family, or a neighborhood or something like that, and now the goal and mission has been successful. So you've been pouring into it. You had the star energy. You've been pouring your time and energy into protecting something, and now that work is done, whether as part of a profession, or it could be like you're also protecting in the sense that maybe you're working something on the side and you haven't revealed it as yet. So that's another level of protection that you have given, working in the background so that, once a thing grows, only then you want to release it or give information about it. But, the whole energy that I pick up is that, Taurus, you have been through really difficult times, and you have tolerated them. You have, like withstood those difficult times, like really difficult times you have been through. And I feel that this eagle or this shield out here gives you me like an honor of badge, badge of honor kind of a thing, something that you have deserved, maybe you fought, in the protection services, like you get that honor, badge of honor, because you've done a good job at protection. Or, somebody who has endured a lot and they get that badge to, to honor them. So, to me, this feels like a badge of honor for you, Taurus, more than anything else. I mean, you've been through it. You've done a great job. You've kept the hope alive. You've been pouring into it. And now you are seeing good growth, improvements, and things like that, That's the kind of energy I pick up. But it also could be, and also I feel that you have been protected. Like you've been through a lot, you've withstood a lot, and all along the universe was protecting you. The eagle is like the eagle you see, it's a predictor of souls. If you see it mythological, like significance, it's about protecting the souls through one world into another world, So it's like that. It's that kind of protection again. Like, so, yeah, so I also feel that you've been at it for something really long, because the 8 stars, that constantly reminds me that you have been at something. It could be for 8 years. It could be 8 cycles. I don't know, because maybe, it's like you are in a solar return period right now. So it could be 8 solar return periods that you have judged with something, working on something, and kept the hope alive. So for some of you, it could be that as well. For some of you, this could be like some protection laws that your company is working on, like prediction laws for, like the lawyer makes up those documents and all of that, the policy to protect and all of that. So for some of you, you could be writing those policies or getting someone to write those policies for you or your company or something like that. For others of you, it could be your assets. For some of you, you could be protecting your assets. Assets could be financial assets where, maybe the finance system was going up and down, the market was going up and down, and you were kind of confused as to where to invest, what to do, so that your investment does not, go to waste and things like that. So for some of you, that work is done. For others of you, I also feel that you're in an energy, Taurus, where you're not going to get yourself into a situation knowingly that will compromise your current situation, in the sense that maybe it's like, for example, if you have a company, you're not going to take another funding round where your company tanks and you have nothing to pay back to the angel investors, that kind of a scenario. So you're not going to take any major risk that will jeopardize your current situation, I fear. For some of you, it could be business-wise. For some of you, it could be professionally. Maybe it's like, maybe you had bought the last home in a not so good neighborhood and you kind of felt like you were unsafe over there, or some incident happened which was, beyond your expectation or not per your expectation. Now you're in a neighborhood, maybe you switch neighborhood. I don't know, whatever. It's going to be different for each one of you, but I feel that there is some kind of either where you live, that kind of safety check that you're making, and the decisions around where you want to live so that you feel safe in those neighborhoods and the people that are around. Or this could be with the kind of people that you invest in. It could be that you're not investing in people that will jeopardize your current situation, It could be that as well. Or you could be, you're fully aware. I feel that eagle energy is all about your awareness, your environment awareness, a high awareness of your environment, who's coming, who's going, something like that. You could be monitoring that. You could be in high traffic zones, monitoring who's coming, who's going. Maybe you're in security. Maybe you're doing that for your own house. But I feel that you genuinely want to feel safe and you're not going to take any risk. Maybe you did that in the past, but now you're not taking any risk that will jeopardize your current situation or put you at any kind of risk, whether it's financially, whether it's through policies, whether it's through security, because you've been doing the work all along and you want to stay safe, you want to stay protected, you want to protect the things that you have been working for, whether it's, and it also could be not just external, maybe it's in your external environment, your home, your assets, finances, all of that, but it could also be your inner world, that you want to protect you want to protect your heart, you want to protect your EQ, you want to protect your, your mood or your, anything. It could be protection, protecting a skill, protecting a hobby, protecting a project or something, or relations or something like that. Or it could be just your peace, protecting your peace also. That could be it for some of you. But I feel that, you are getting, it's like a wisdom accrued, right? Eagles are very smart. They're very vigilant. So it's like, you have accrued a lot of wisdom through all those experiences and all the cycles that you've been through. And for some of you, you yourself are the shield. You know what's working, what's not. You know what to do, what not to do, through awareness, through learning, through wisdom, that kind. So you won't make those choices that will jeopardize. You won't take those decisions that will jeopardize or something like that. Could also be possible with the shield energy. And the last card for today, Taurus, you have is a message from Cosmos, and it says, Cosmic Unity. Further says, embrace the oneness of all existence. Love and compassion will guide your actions. Yeah, so if you see the image, it's a very, cosmic energy, like expanding. I feel it's all about, connections, because you have that shield card, right? So you do understand that you are protecting yourself, but at the same time, you cannot isolate yourself, because the world, the cosmos, everyone, everything is connected out here, and with that star card, you pouring in, you know that whatever you do is going into the collective consciousness pool. Your actions, your everything that you pour into is going to move, is going into a humanitarian pool or a subconscious pool, and it's going to ripple outwards. We saw that in the pool. There are ripples. It's going to ripple outward. So it's something that's going to make an impact. So I feel that doing things, whatever you're doing, because it's going to ripple out, it's going to touch a lot of lives. I feel that you need to still stay compassionate with yourself and other people. Do things, pour into things with a lot of understanding and high awareness, which the eagle already says you already have that awareness. You have a lot of understanding. You have the high level view. And you are kind of moving beyond any kind of self-centeredness or any kind of isolation energy. I feel that you might want to connect more with people. You might want to help other people. You might want to renew, how you renew your connections. For some of you, this could be that star is also the energy of renewal and forgiveness, So looking at things from higher perspectives, from high-level views, can also help change the trajectory of some of the people that you are connected to or the new connections that you will be building. Because I feel that it's all about unity, coming together. If there was like rifts or misunderstandings, it's a positive time to heal, to reconnect. This is also, with the star card, you're already connected with your purpose. The universe already has connected you with your purpose that you came here for. But it's just that with the cosmic unity, embrace the oneness of all existence, which means that coming together, working with people, cooperations, and, working as a community, as a neighborhood, as a team will help you, will expand you, will grow you, will bring more positive outcome and results than you yourself independently. So this energy is asking you to open your heart space, to come from a space of love, knowing that we're all humans, we're all connected, not being fearful over things. And I feel that this is really a time where the universe is, rearranging things. I would like to say, Taurus, rearranging things in support of you, in favor of you. So the universe is, compassion will guide your actions. Yeah, so come from a space of compassion, from love, from understanding, knowing that we're all connected together. And the universe is actually working in the background to rearrange things for you. Taurus, okay? So those were your messages, and I hope you enjoyed them. Now moving on to the sign of Virgo. The first card you have for today, Virgo, is the Page of Swords. Now, this is an air suit. Swords is an air suit energy, and you are the earth sign. But your ruler is Mercury, which is, the ruler of the swarm suit. It's all about intelligence, understanding, research, the planet of business, communication, research, and all of that. And Page is a new energy, like a beginner's mindset. Now, if you look at the picture, there is this person dressed in orange, holding a sword right up to the skies. And here it feels like a lightning when she holds up this. It feels like a lightning has been created. Now, lightning is all about sudden movement, sudden ideas, sudden realizations, breakthrough moments. And if you see the person, there is light spreading where she's holding the sword as well, where she's gripping the sword. There is a lot of light over there. And she's wearing her tinted glasses with trying to say something. Her mouth is slightly open, not like a fully talkative energy, but something that she wants to say, that this person wants to say. So definitely, Virgo, this next few days is something that is, it's going to be surprising, maybe a breakthrough. Maybe your breakthrough is a surprise or a shock to other people. Maybe something that you have researched or got new information about you are now making it, announcing it or making it available to the world, to your team, to the people around you, maybe to your family, whatever this is. But it's because you have a new perspective, a new view. You're looking at a situation from a different perspective, from a different angle, to a specific lens. I feel that you're looking at a situation from a different lens, which people are unable to see because only you're wearing these glasses. So you're looking at it from a specific lens, which other people don't have access to. They're not looking at it from that lens or from that angle, from that perspective. And I feel that, I also feel that you have not only, through this research, you have felt things as you, maybe you've been analyzing, you've been looking at a situation for quite some time now. I feel that you have been feeling through it, not just an analytical perspective, which Virgos are kind of famous for. Like, they're too analytical, they're too research-oriented, perfectionists and things like that. But I feel that you are not just coming from a mind space, like an analytical space, but you're also coming from an open heart space. Like, you feel things, like as you analyze, you've been tapping into your heart space as well. So I do feel that, because this person, where she's holding this sword from, it's like shining so bright. And I feel that whatever you present, whatever your idea is, whatever your breakthrough is, whatever your perspective is, whatever your take on a situation is, or the way you do things, the way you say things, the way you produce or present things, it could be a presentation, it could be something that you have worked on that you're presenting. Maybe it's a hands-on thing, maybe it's whatever that is. I feel that it's a brilliant thing. It's going to be brilliant, and it also could shift the trajectory in a certain new direction. And you have been able to come up with this idea that probably nobody else has, is because you are coming from a beginner's mindset, You're very curious, like, why this, why that? You're asking yourself those questions. And your mind is also, supporting you in the sense that it's not that you want to cut corners. You're like, okay, never mind. Why do I need to even go into this? I'm already an expert at it. I know this is this. But no, even you might be an expert, but I feel that you're really excited, curious, enthusiastic about a certain situation. You want more clarity. You want more details. You want more answers. You want more angles, perspectives, and views and things like that. And that's what is being produced out here. And it gives me a very investigative mind. Some of you might be into investigations or the law enforcement or some, the detective or something like that. But I feel that you've been at this, and you've been analyzing a certain thing for a long, long time, just like the detectives do. And now it has some kind of a clarity. Something kind of clicks in the next few days for you. And whatever you figure out, whatever is your research, whatever is your analysis, your final presentation, you're ready to share it. You're ready to share it with your team, with the world, or whatever this is, because the mouth is open, you're ready to speak. Maybe you've not come to the full conclusion. Maybe your project is not completed. Your analysis is not 100% complete, but at least you made some progress, that valuable progress that you're ready to share, that you feel that you can share, and people will appreciate that. So that's a good thing, because whatever this is, people can take this idea, run with it, apply it, use it, or you can do that. There's a freshness to it. And I feel that Virgo is like you might be an expert at something, but I feel that you're still coming from a learner's mindset, a beginner's mindset. You are like, no, I'm still learning this. I'm not a pro at it. So you're coming from that fresh perspective, and that actually really helps. I like how this fresh perspective and thinking of yourself as still a student helps to bring in breakthroughs. It's the energy that I'm picking up on. It's like you're the expert. You could be the expert. You could be leading teams, but you're still very curious, about, oh, why don't we try this? Why don't we explore this? Why don't we research this? Why don't we try this? Why don't we replace this? Why don't we, whatever that situation is for you? Because I feel that you have been in this rut for some time, It's like we're coming out of the murky waters. You've been in this for a long time, and now you have the clarity for it. Now you have the, and I feel that you've been very, not emotional, but you're coming from a hard space. But you have been very practical with your approach, It's not that you're swinging extremes or you're being really cutthroat. It's not a king of swords or a queen of swords energy. It's a page of swords. You're smart, you're intelligent, you're of earth sign, so that keeps you very grounded, and you're tapping into your emotions as you present this, as you learn about this. So that's a good thing, like especially if it's in an investigation which is in regards to people, it could be like you're in the law department or whatever that is, maybe legal department. But when you bring your emotions into it and you do research with that hard space, then the results of the outcome are different than when we get completely in our head up about it. And the good thing is that you're open to learning, open to new ways of thinking, of presenting, and it's not taken over you that, oh, I'm the expert. Why would I go wrong? You have that in you that, I'm still a student. I can still learn something. I can still refine this. I can still better this. And in doing so, in keeping that attitude open-minded, we learn a lot. We grew a lot. We refine things a lot, But everybody needs to have the kind of a mindset. And I do feel that you've been very patient with this process, and you've been analyzing things. You've gone to the depth of a certain situation. This is not a surface level answer that you have given, It's like you have gone to the depth of the situation. Like I said, it might have been like, something which is pressing for you. You might have been, it might have been like, it's like, that you cannot take forever. There's a window, It's like, it is a pressing need. And you have been analyzing for quite some time, but now it's available to you, the answer, the breakthrough, the results, whatever you wanted. I feel it's a fresh perspective, and I feel that, I feel it will be appreciated. Now, for some of you, this could be into journalism. You could be new journalists, or you could be, looking into some situation once again, some cases once again, how to report, switch up the words, get more insights, talk to more people, get the leads, get the thread, see if it's the right story, see if it's presented in the right way. For some of you, you could be reopening things and looking at it from fresher perspectives, or how you can present this self which it doesn't feel like it's overwhelming to other people, or to the people around you. For some of you, this could be that even though you're an expert, you're still courageous and strong enough to ask the right questions, Learn from, maybe you have a team and you have newer people joining, you're still asking them questions despite of being the leader of the team, So, and that's a good trait to have. That's very open-minded, bold, courageous, to be able to reach out to people, to ask the questions that nobody asks, that people assume. Even to have the courage to research on things that, or fields or areas that you already have been working on for so long, but you're like, no, you know what? I'm going to try one more thing. I'm going to try this, that, and the third, So it works out that way. You learn so much, and I feel that you right now is in an energy of not only researching, but reading up, researching, referring to a lot of resources, people, talking to people, not assuming things, asking the right questions, even though it might sound funny to other people in the moment, and it makes you a little bit uncomfortable, or people uncomfortable, you're still asking, because, it could change the trajectory of a situation, a project, or it could be a relationship. Sometimes people don't consider situations or angles, perspectives that they thought they had considered, and then yeah, here we go. We have a new perspective, a new solution, a new way to go. Who knows, this could be a game changer idea. But it's always good. So people always like have to, they always like when they do their work, they want another set of fresh eyes to look at the perspective, because that's when things break, especially when you're in engineering. And there are people who break systems. They test it out. They test and break systems because people who've designed it cannot look at it from that perspective of breaking their own designs and tools that they have designed. So I feel that it's a good idea, maybe maybe you are into research, maybe you're into biohealth research or something like that, I mean, it could be for some of you, or you could be into educative, like how do I present this? How do I get people curious? How do I get my students curious? How do I make them interested in a certain subject? Let me try this way. I'm breaking healthy. Let me try that. So I feel you're fully engaged, and that's the key to this. It might not be the culmination of something. It might not be 100% presentable. It might not be the end of it or end of research, but you're still figuring it out and you're sharing it with the people. And the good thing is that it's a fresh perspective, and maybe what you come up with will highlight another issue in the system or in the process or something like that, So it could open another set of a bag of what's that can of worms or something like that. Your insights and your your perspective could do that as well for some of you. Next card you have, Virgo, is the Serpent. And below this it says, a sly and subtle approach is needed. All right, so definitely this is about an approach in a situation that you have been researching. You have been fully aware. You've been looking at it from different perspectives. And we saw that the page of Swords energy. But it says here, a subtle approach. So it cannot be like the sword guarding, right? And that actually, with the Mercury in Taurus, that approach will not be good. The sword cuts directly, right? It's a direct approach. But this serpent is asking you to be gentle with your approach. And because it's coiled, it's been very patient. And we already saw on that page of Swords, you have been researching patiently on something. You have been waiting. You've been studying the ground reality. You've been studying the landscape, the terrain, the situation, the goods, the bads, the pros, the cons, the struggles, the challenges, the opportunities, and everything. You have been patient, and that's what this serpent, you see, it's coiled. It has been patient. And also, if the color is green, it's a green and it's glowing. And the glow is from within. It's not a external flashlight on it. The glow is coming from within. Why? Because you know something that other people don't. I feel that, Virgo, there is a situation that you have been researching on, and you know the ins and outs, you know the whole situation thoroughly. I feel that you've been at it, you've been at ground level, at grassroots level. You've been taking the time to consider each and every detail of a situation, just the Virgo analytical mind would do. And you've been waiting patiently, This coiled serpent is all about, waiting out there, waiting for the right time. That's what a snake does, right? That's what a serpent does. It waits out there patiently for its prey. And then, zoop, it snaps its tongue out and gets its prey. So I feel that you have been waiting for the right moment, the exactly right moment, not the approximate right moment, but the exactly right moment, when you can hit the nail on its head and it will go fully in. You've been waiting for that opportunity because I feel that you have been sensing things, We saw the page of Swords that you are actively engaging your spidey senses, your body, your gut feeling. Everything has been engaged in the situation. And you were trying to find a way to convey the message or to say the thing or to communicate or to present in an indirect way, so that people don't get bothered by it or anxious by it or triggered by it or they don't come at you, or they don't put up more struggles and challenges for you, right? Because you have the full information here, Virgo, 110%. You also know which approach would be right, because you don't want to hurt people. You don't want to hurt people by saying things that would be triggering for them. You don't want to manipulate them. You don't want to hurt them. You want to do it in a gentler way, I feel. With your approach, I feel, I sense that you want to keep it gentle. You want to move around the challenges, and you've been trying to do that. You've been trying to see what is the best way to go, which is the best path to take. And I also feel that it's because you already have been in the thick of this, You know your people. You've been talking to them. You know who's who. You know how they function. You know the strategy. You know the politics. You know the ground level reality. You know a lot about the situation from A to Z, from top to bottom. And I feel that you don't want to force your ideas. You don't want to force solutions. You don't want to force your perspectives, but you want to present it, and you might be feeling like, people are going to block your ideas or get defensive, or they're going to stop you from presenting it or something like that. But with the serpent approach, it's like, the serpent goes around the rocks. It won't move the rock. It will get around the rock, and it arrives wherever it has to arrive. So the same with you, Virgo. I feel that, and especially with the Mercury being your ruler, right? It's like you've been sensing things. You've been sensing the pulse of the situation. You know how everybody reacts. You know what they are thinking. You connect with them. You can sense what they're saying, what they're feeling, what they're thinking, what they're planning, even though that information might not be directly conveyed to you, but you can sense that. So I feel that you are taking a very smart approach, and I feel that you're very, very intelligent, Virgo. Whoever I'm speaking with, you're very intelligent, you're very wise, and I feel that, whatever this you're presenting, I feel this will shift things. It will transform things, and I feel that maybe your ideas are going to shift the situation in a big way, transform, or it's going to shift the trajectory, and you already know that people are not ready for it. Change is not easy on everybody. But I feel that your ideas are powerful. I feel that it's a powerful idea. It's something powerful that you want to share, that you want to present. But you want to be very sure, and you are very sure. But you want to be very slow. You want to be gentle, When you move, as you move, you don't want to shock people. You don't want to bring chaos to the table, And I feel that you've been going like sideways, kind of, through the back doors, back channels. And I feel that's why you have been able to get to the position where you are, because you have been following some kind of a, twisted way, a more coiled approach, not a direct approach. And that's how you got to this point, So, I feel that you don't want to say things directly. You want to say things indirectly, and that's very powerful too, because, I have seen, especially, if you see the shows on TV, or even if you see, like, if you read up about the legal cases, the policies and all of that, I've seen there are a lot of people present their arguments indirectly, indirect arguments. And, we've seen a lot of courtroom drama also. Instead of directly attacking people, they beat around the bush. They go about in a circular way, in a coiled way, in a tangent way, because directly if you pose it, people get defensive, people get shocked, and they move back, and they start pouncing on us, and you don't want that to happen, all right? Because now I also feel that for you, Virgos, you're also taking a very, kind of careful approach, right? Because you're in an observation mode. Snake is a very observation energy. Like, you're seeing who's doing what, who's saying what, why they're saying, why they're planning, what are the possibilities. It's like a chess game, I feel. Like, this person might do this, might say this, or let me have this ready, let me have this answer ready, let me have this presentation ready, let me have this data ready so I can counter, I can cover from this angle, I can, things like that. I feel you might be planning with that Page of Swords energy. I feel you have been researching all the possibilities, all the answers, all the counter arguments. For some of you, it could be that you want to like kind of show it like, okay, this is how it's going to be, rather than just, can I have this? Can I do this? Or something like that. For those of you, for example, like if you're in an office, you want a promotion. You're like, no, I won't go to my boss directly asking for promotion, because they might just say to my face, no. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to find what my boss really wants, what he's not capable of doing. I will do those things that he's incapable of doing, and then I will request for a promotion. So it's an indirect strategy. I hope I'm making sense. For some of you, you could be in that situation, but for some of you, this could be about for some of you, I'm also feeling like, as they call it, the corridor conversations. For those of you who know the term, it's like when you move in from boardrooms and meeting rooms, and people are just, out there, just hanging out, walking together into another room. And then the conversations that happen in those corridors, in the walkways, which people don't say out in the meetings. I feel that it could be those kind of indirect conversations where you put a word in, you get the ball rolling, you plant an idea, but you don't say directly in the boardroom or the meeting room. For some of you, this could be that, now for those of you that's not about work or about strategy at work or at home, this could be in your own personal investments, or maybe like, for example, if you're trying to buy a house, and you're like, okay, I want to buy a house, but how am I going to, find, but I'm going to have a huge competition now for this house. So I want to get those contacts that will tell me about the properties that are available without looping in too many people. So who's going to do that for you? You have to find that person, so that you get the property that is not, known by many, and you don't have competition for that property. So something like that. Or it could be that you're talking to your friends, like, okay, I don't want to go out there looking for a person or a property salesperson. I want to just, ask about in the neighborhood and see what information I could get, so that you don't have to pay the commissions and things like that. So for some of you, it could be working your way around those issues or those situations as well. For some of you, this could be, I'm getting a very, without making the noise, you're doing it without making noise, without people even realizing that you're working your way through it. Yeah, it's like, for example, if you have to speak with your boss about a certain project or something like that, and you find out, oh, you know what, there is a boss has a good friend who's a friend of yours, and you're like, okay, let me take the boss's friend, let me put a word in on what I want into the boss's friend's ear, and the boss friend can then deliver it to the boss. Finding the right contacts who can pull off some moves for you. For some of you, that could be a strategy as well. Now, for some of you, this could be some kind of a deal that you're trying to negotiate. You're like, oh, you know what, if I'm going to talk to this person in front of the colleagues, they're not going to agree to it because they have to follow the rules and all of that. So I am going to take this person out on a coffee day, and I'm going to talk it at that time. So maybe they're able to present some ideas where they can cut the costs and prices and give me a better deal, or cut me a better deal, or something like that, So I do feel that this is going to work for you. This is a good approach. This is exactly what's needed. And you're going at it slowly but surely, very carefully, sensing the pulse along the way, gathering more information along the way, trying to forge your path forward, mapping out the obstacles, what's right, what's working, what's not, and all of that. Not in a dramatic way, not in a loud way. You're not announcing your moves. You're not announcing your next moves. You're not even... you're not shouting it from the rooftop, but it's just your smartness, because you know the ground reality. you're feeling your way, and you know when it is the right time to say what to whom and in what way. That's the intelligence, the mercurial intelligence at its peak right now for you. We're going the next few days and weeks. So good luck with that. And the last card you have, Virgo, for today is a message from Cosmos. And it says universal truth. Below it says, seek the deeper truths beyond the surface. They will guide your journey. Yeah, exactly. That's what we've been talking. Your reading is entirely about, the sword is about, of course, cutting through delusions. You have the page of swords. So you are seeing things for what they are. You're not looking at it from rose-tinted glasses. And also with the serpent energy, you have a deeper understanding of your situation. You already know that the surface level information or what people are presenting and acting are not the right, not their true way. They're not presenting their honest selves or honest opinions, or they're not showing up honestly or truthfully. So you're looking behind the veil. You're looking behind the appearances. And maybe, people are saying something to you, but it's something else beneath the surface, and you're kind of asking those questions like, oh, you told me this, but what about this? And I feel that it doesn't add up, or it doesn't connect the dots, or something like that. So you will not get the information you need from anybody outside. It's you, your inner knowing, your research, your feeling, how you feel, your gut feeling, your inner awareness. All of that is going to provide you the answers and way to navigate. We already saw that. You might be talking to a lot of people. You're very intuitive at this point in time, Virgo, even though you come across as an analytical sign ruled by Mercury at all times, or the ground energy. But here we're also seeing a lot of intuitive energy kick in for you. So, you are having those breakthroughs and aha moments, because it says here, you're going to find our information beneath the surface, and they will be able to help you make the decision going forward, that which path that you want to take, what's real, what's not real. It's a time to get honest with yourself. It's time to get honest with your people, your folks, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your bosses, your team, whatever that is for you, because, that's going to decide your future direction. And you don't have to be loud about this. I feel that it's going to be subtle, it's going to be gentle, it's going to be quiet. But at this point in time, you're fully aware, you're fully intuitive, highly intuitive. You're asking the right questions. You're not rushing through the process. You're taking it slow. You have a gentle, slow, calculated approach, not rushed through approach. And that's exactly what you need at this point in time. And I feel that once you figure things out, once you uncover the truths, once you get more information, you will kind of forge your pathway forward. Could be in a different direction. Maybe you have to change your direction, but it's going to be a powerful change. It's going to be a powerful direction that you pick. Why? Because it's coming through clarity. You're going to be fully happy with the outcome, where you're going with this, because I feel that it's going to be very meaningful to you. And you're going to feel really powerful about the choice that you're making, the direction that you're moving. You're going to be fully motivated, driven, and, fully guided with full awareness, You're not like shooting darts in the dark. You're like fully aware, fully illuminated, fully enlightened, and then you're moving forward with the confident, empowered energy. So that's really good, Virgos. Those were your messages, and hope you enjoyed them. Now moving on to the sign of Capricorn. So the first card you have for today, Capricorn, is the King of Wands. And this is a fire energy. King of Wands is fire of fire, It's related to the energy of the collective ARIES, which is the first house. And for you, Capricorn, you are the earth sign. You're the cardinal earth sign, the starters. Of the earth signs, the earth signs up Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So you are the cardinal sign, the initiators, the starters. And the Aries energy also is an initiation energy, because Aries is the cardinal fire sign. So now looking at the picture, this person is, smiling away, a King of Wands who is just happy, warm, relaxed, happy with how far this person has come, just confident in, what they're capable of achieving, confident in what they have achieved. Somebody who doesn't need to prove themselves, somebody who does not need to perform for anybody, somebody who's not dominating and not controlling, somebody who's very warm. The leadership energy here is that of, a compassionate, warm leader, somebody who has a vision, somebody who who has a vision, who does not need any kind of validation, somebody who is, who has built something really big. You see the building behind, there is a brick building, something that has been built over a period of time. And this person is really happy. He's happy what he has constructed, what he has built, the life he has created for himself. So it's a very relaxed energy, not tense, not marching forward, even though this is a leadership position, and I feel that you are in a leadership role of some sort. This is also a very creative energy. Wands are very creative. So you do have some kind of a vision in the next few days, Capricorn, that you are leading. Maybe you're leading, and you've been very patient, I feel that. And being the Capricorn, you're the you're symbolically the mountain goat that keeps climbing up the mountain, that works tirelessly, endlessly to achieve what they want, to achieve the goals. A very ambitious spirit. And I feel that this is your ambition, that has matured over a period of time, that you're stepping into leadership roles, and it feels so good. This leadership role that you're stepping into feels like it's been waiting for you. It's been cut up for you. It's something that makes you happy. It does not stress you out. And if you see this king, he's holding a wand that has leaves. It's a live one. It's a live stick that has leaves. So I feel that whatever your idea, your vision, your project, could be a business that you're leading, that you have a vision for, is it's going to bring, I feel it's working, it's growing, it's developing, and it's something which is ongoing, and it's growing. It's a vision that's alive. So I do feel, Capricorn, this is just about enjoying what you're creating, It's enjoying the process, the role that you have been assigned. You know your capabilities, you know how competent you are, and at the same time, because you're the earth signs are very practical, grounded, rooted. I feel that whatever you're building, it could be related to a community. It could be related to a community that you're working for, something that will benefit the community. It could be that you are, constructing something, building something that's going to help the community. It could be that you are, if you are in aerospace, you could be doing something, like at one point in time, somebody had a vision to create airplanes. I see that as a king of wands. Just for some of you, you could be working on visions related to space that's going to benefit the humanity and the community. This could be in general. You could be working on a business, on a personal hobby or project that could benefit the community, in the sense that if you are creating products, the community will benefit from it. Now, since this is an initiator energy, I feel that you are initiating things. You have already built a lot, and now you're initiating something more, maybe taking it next level. You're initiating a next level or a project that it could be a new project, it could be an extension of an existing project, but you already have a portfolio that's backing your capabilities and the projects that you have completed and accomplished. And I feel that with your earth energy, there is also a dependability. So not only are you leading with compassion, not only are you inspiring and not only are you inspiring, but you're also very dependable. And I feel that your leadership style is something that people enjoy. It's not something that is controlling. It's something which is warm. So people enjoy being under your leadership or watching your leadership and your approach to things. I also feel that the ideas that you have, the vision that you have, I feel that you are, sitting with the team, brainstorming, communicating. There's a lot of communication energy with this, in which you could be conveying that this is your plan, this is the idea, this is the process, this is the step-by-step process for something like that. Because I feel that, there is genuine happiness in communicating your vision. So I do see a lot of positive forward momentum. And I also feel that, you're the kind of leader, Capricorn, that's highly, that's not rigid. This person is very, relaxed. You can be yourself around this leader is the vibe that I'm getting, So you're open to, I feel that you're open to listening to other people's opinions, thoughts. You're flexible with how things can be done and achieved. You're not very rigid. You're not coming from a place of rigidity. And also, I feel that you are highly intuitive also at this point in time. You can sense, you can read the room, you can understand what people are thinking, where they're coming from. And I feel that's the kind of leadership that's really appreciated, You have your ideas, and at the same time, you're open to listening to others. And I also feel that whatever you are working on, the vision you have, this is something that you will be creating that will be around, that will stay around for a long, long time. And the good thing is that this king, of course, is wearing a crown because he, has actually earned it. It's not somebody that has just forced his way through or forced the crown on his head. No, it's like been given to him, and he's very casual about it. He doesn't care about those kind of things, about people, crowning him and all of that. It's not into that. So it's not about performance or throwing your weight around. It's just about being the leader, being the calm, cool, collected, relaxed leader, and knowing that you have the capability to put in the work and create the momentum that your project or company needs. And being in the thick of it, actually enjoying the work that you're doing. So that's the most important trait about the King of Wands. They really enjoy what they do. I also feel that you do have a lot of knowledge, the domain knowledge about what you're working on, what you're saying. It's like you don't need to take any notes to meeting rooms. You already know what you're going to say. You already know what you're going to do. You have it in your head. And it's like, commanding the meeting room without actually controlling it, without being that banning leader. It's like you know what you're doing. You say things and people are actually taking notes of it. So it's the true leadership quality that you have. And I feel that people actually appreciate how engaged you are, how thoughtful you are, and still how confident you are. It's like a leadership. It's like, you are the leader and you don't need to prove it. You're very settled in your energy. And you're doing something really meaningful, I feel, Capricorn. You're not just, you're not just surface level involved, but you're actually leading something really meaningful. So it's a great energy here, Capricorn. The next one you have, Capricorn, is the Queen. And further down it says love and prosperity. Yeah, that's exactly what, the Queen, you have the King, now you have the Queen. The Queen is a receptor principle. King is the doer. Queen is receptive. And I feel that, and for you, Capricorn, Saturn is your ruler, that gives the discipline. It gives a structure for you to work things out for you. But I feel that everything that you're doing, yes, it's very organized, but you're doing it with a lot of love. let me show the leadership style for you. Even the King of Wands itself seems like a very happy leader. Here, Queen energy is all about, the nurturing that you provide. So I do feel that, and if you look at the Queen, there's a lot of symbols out here. There's a mandala, halo, there is this headdress of the pharaohs, there's Ankh, and a lot of very, kind of spiritual significant symbols are over here. So I feel that I feel that with this Queen energy that you're providing, you're nurturing, you're giving, because your cup is full. You have created the life that you wanted. You worked hard for it. You have built those foundations that make you feel secure, and you're giving from a space of fullness, not from a space of lack. And I feel that this is a give back to the community. Either you're part of a project that, does work for the community, or this could be any other side, volunteering work, or any other side work that you do for the community. Because for you, it's not just the material success or accomplishments that matter. It's the relations, it's the love, it's the community vibe also that you want to carry along. So your King of Wands energy is complementing this Queen energy here, Capricorn, because you have this love and prosperity region over here, which means that it's not one at the cost of another. It's both. It's integrated. Love and prosperity is integrated. So you're paying equal attention to your personal life, your family, your friends, your neighborhood, your community, whatever that love is for you. And then you have this prosperity, which is about putting in the work, enjoying the success of your material world and your projects and your professional life. And that's what's creating this abundance for you. And because I feel that you are in a leadership position, you're leading with warmth. We already saw that with the King of Wands. There's warmth, there's compassion, there's confidence, you're confident. And these are the skills that are required to grow in difficult and complex situations, in complex environments. This kind of a leader is able to handle any situation that comes at them. Now, I also feel that for some of you, because there's a Queen energy, you could be, parents, you could be guardians, you could be, looking after, care for kids, for family, for elderly. That also is included in the Queen energy. For some of you, you could be caregivers as well. Or you could be in caregiving professions. Nowadays, caregiving professions has been recognized as a very integral part of society. Earlier it wasn't given its due honor and importance, but nowadays the caregiving economy is thriving and booming, and you could be a part of it in some way, shape, or form. I'm also picking up the energy of, a lot of Egyptian queens like, Cleopatra, Nefertiti. I'm also picking up Isis energy, I feel that Capricorn, this week or in the next few days, you could also be kind of putting together something that was scattered. It's the kind of energy that I'm picking up. You are smart, you have the know-how, you have the intelligence, and you are putting together or reassembling something that got scattered. Now, it's going to be different for each one of you. What got scattered? Is it your project that got scattered, the people, or it's your family, or the work, or something that got scattered, your goals? I don't know what that is, but you're putting it all back together this week or in the next few weeks. It could also be relations. It could be community that you're putting back together, or you're kind of, creating some kind of a group that people can come together. Maybe it was scattered, maybe people went here, there, and now you're bringing it all together. It's going to be different for each one of you, but I feel that there is a realization underneath it that, success, prosperity, leadership, and all of it feels me much more better when you have good relationships, when there is love present in every way around us. That's the realization that yes, their structure is needed, discipline is needed, but love is equally important, whether it's community love, whether it's in your relations, whatever it is. But leadership and prosperity feels nicer when there is love around, when there are people who will share that success and prosperity, people that are supportive of you, that give you back the love. It could be in any way, whether it's doing things for you or just loving you back or, being supportive in so many ways. There's so many ways people give back and show their love. So just having those people around makes life, makes work much better, more meaningful. And I feel that you're carrying both along, because I know, a lot of times, especially when, the students come out of college, they put love and relationships on the back burner or at the bottom of their priority list because they want to build careers, So they just dive into careers, working day in and day out, loveless life, relationship free, less life. And, they're just about career and work and work. And, they keep postponing love relationships for, when I get there, when I have so much money, when I'm this successful, that's not how it works, Everything needs to be balanced out. Everything needs to go in parallel. That makes working more enjoyable. And I feel that's why you're enjoying where you are, because you have a very supportive environment, whether it's where you live, the people, your relations, your family, your friends, everything is very supportive. And that makes work more enjoyable. Now, the Queen energy is also very receptive, so I feel that you're open to love, to receiving love. I feel that, maybe you were in the, I will do everything and I don't want to receive, I'm okay with not receiving that. I feel that now something has shifted in you that you're fine with receiving, If people want to do something nice to you and for you, you're all in it for it, I feel that you're welcoming nice comments, you're welcoming praise and all of that. I mean, it's not getting to your head, but it's just that you're liking it when people are giving you compliments and things like that, So it's a very heart-based energy. This is genuine love for what you're doing. I feel that even, you're making choices and decisions also, Capricorn. I feel that, coming from a heart space, that are coming from genuine love for a certain thing, It's not about calculations and money and profits and strategies here. It's all about what makes you feel good. Those are the kind of decisions that you are taking. And I also feel that you are participating in things, events, activities that you really love because you know it in your heart of hearts that things done with love, they give out better outcomes, better results than the jobs and the things and the engagements that we have that are just that we do out of obligation, that are obligatory. So that's a huge shift that has come about. I also feel that, you're expressing yourself like, I like this, I like that, you're coming from a heart-centered space. And, that makes, things much more enjoyable, livable, workable, and all of that, it's worth investing your time and energy into. It makes it worth it. And I also feel with this Queen energy that you are also taking care of your own personal well-being because, we cannot provide from a cup half full, and that's something that the Queen has understood clearly. And the last card for today, Capricorn, you have is a message from Cosmos, and it says astral connection. Further, it says strengthen your connection to the universe. It holds the key to your growth. Yeah, so I feel that this is more about, connecting to the divine, connecting to cosmos, connecting to the unknown energies that work behind the scenes, day in and day out, supporting us. I feel that for some of you, you might be feeling that connection, or you might be working towards that, highly spiritual connections, You might be feeling things in your gut. Your body might be giving you signs and signs and indications. For some of you, you might be believing in synchronicities more. That there is something written. It's for me. You're kind of finding the coincidences as orchestrated by the universe, finding them more meaningful, finding them as guidance from the universe. And I feel that is a really positive thing to do. I feel that will work in your favor when you listen to your intuition, your gut feeling, your inner voice, when you pay attention to these, small signs that the universe sends our way. They're not random signs. These are not coincidences. These are actually meant for you. So for some of you, you could be actually spending more time in spirituality or meditation or just working, participating in some modalities of, yoga and, any divine connection, maybe chanting or something like that, or maybe even going out, spending time in the nature, which nature is just an extension of the universe, of the divine. When we go out there, we spend time, we connect with all of nature's qualities. And it just deepens our connection to the cosmos, to universe, to the divine, to the superpowers, And I feel that the next few days you are working on that, So I also feel that there is growth, there is alignment, there is purpose. The signs that you are receiving, the messages from the cosmos, you are listening to it, you are paying attention to it, you're receiving it, you're well receiving it, you are also following the direction. I feel like if you get a sign, you're kind of taking it as a feedback from the universe and you're following that, you're making those changes. And, this is, I feel like a process that you have built. It's a flow that you have created or will be creating with the universe. It's like you do something and the universe responds. You follow the signs, you take it as a feedback, you make the changes. And it's like slowly but surely in this way, you're making changes and you're moving forward. Your destiny is, your path forward is unfolding for you, And I feel that all these synchronicities, these messages are bringing a lot of insights into situations that you would have never gotten, It's hard for us to get those insights until we follow these, until we peek into the unknown. Some way, I think you could be tapping into spirituality or you could be tapping into astrology, cosmos, knowledge, and all of that to provide you, more direction, to guide you, to provide you more insights into what's going on around you. And I feel that you're in some way, you are tapping into it, or you will be in the near future. You will be tapping into these resources to bring in that confidence, that calm in your day-to-day lives, to get you, astrology and all of those tarot and oracle. You could be tapping into those modalities as well in order to get some directions, to get some guidance, to get confirmations, feedbacks, and things like that. So it's a good way to connect, to establish this kind of flow with the universe, to work with the universe, to co-create with the universe. I feel you're in that energy, Capricorn. So those were your messages and hope you enjoyed them. So thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.